Back off, man. Back off.
Yeah, man.
Primarily Critical. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Primarily Critical. At Movies and an After Party, this would be it.
If you have not seen this film, we suggest that you do so before watching any further.
Because we got something, spoilers, trivia, and opinions like crazy, and we can't wait to share them.
Yes, because it's good, bad, new, old, weird, or gross.
And we will pass judgment on them all.
Today, you should probably keep a flamethrower in your shed. My name is
Hell
Steve.
yeah.
I'm here with
Phil.
and
John.
today we're talking about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And remember, spoilers.
Oh.
Yeah, Quentin Tarantino, ninth movie. You
Love
picked
it.
This. You picked this?
Yeah,
yes,
I'm a
Philip.
big fan of Tarantino ever since probably Reservoir Dogs. And, of course, Pulp Fiction was like...
Of course.
Yeah, man, that was just... And he's kept doing his movies, and they're all been pretty good, and they have their own kind of universe they live in. There's a common theme. There's certain things throughout all the movies that kind of always happen. And one of the things
Yes.
that didn't happen in this movie, no Sam Jackson. No.
There was no Sam Jackson.
For the
No.
first time, well, not all his movies, but
Well, no, True Romance didn't have no Sam Jackson.
Yeah, there's
Reservoir
one-
Dogs had no Sam Jackson.
yeah, okay.
All right,
But
yeah.
the point is, I really like this movie.
Yeah.
Damn, this movie's cool.
Oh,
It's like the coolest movie out there.
cool is the word. Yeah. You did what?
Okay, listen.
What? Come on.
This is a long movie.
Yeah,
I'll
it
start-
didn't
I'll start
seem
with that.
long.
It was like it's 2.5 hours
Yeah.
ish,
Mhm.
and
It could be 4 hours. I still watch it.
It flew by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a moment where I was like, "What is the point?
Oh, Steve.
What is the point? What's the point of all this?" Right?
I had fun with this
I
movie
didn't predict the ending. I didn't predict
No.
the ending. I had no idea.
because
No.
I did no research. I didn't watch any of the trailers. I knew it was supposed to be this big thing, and
surrounding the Manson family somehow, late
Yeah.
60s,
Yeah.
right? So if you know that, there's going to be some murders. There's going to
Yeah.
be some shit going down.
Yeah.
But Tarantino has this thing about altering history.
Yeah.
To kind of like, well, fuck that. I'm going to change this up and
Yeah.
do something different with it.
Well,
Let
it
me-
is
let
called Once Upon a Time, so it's a fairy tale, right?
And
I
he,
mean,
and he did it in the other movies too. He's done Inglourious Bastards.
he killed Hitler.
Yeah, so he has a history of doing this.
I want to say that the ending paid off.
Oh,
I was very happy with the ending. I was
Yeah.
some
like,
action.
"Oh, that's what's going on."
Did you not?
and this is hilarious. Yeah.
The
This-
dog.
Yeah.
Did you not see the foreshadowing when
that
Brad
dog was
Pitt's
a beautiful
character?
actor.
Yeah. Cliff Booth is the stuntman for
Yes.
Leonardo's character, Rick Dalton.
Bill,
right?
Rick Dalton. Yeah,
Rick
yeah.
Dalton.
Yes.
And so Cliff has got this dog. He lives a pretty simple life in his
yeah.
trailer at a movie theater, right? And this is all around Hollywood, right? And it's all nostalgia. It's all back in the 1969. Beautiful looking movie. They're all
Beautiful.
like
Yeah.
all driving around these beautiful looking old period cars. And I heard they used like 200 cars to recreate these scenes. A lot of
Yeah.
it's practical.
Yeah.
Like he literally booked off, like blocked off streets and to do this movie.
Yes.
Anyways, early in the movie, foreshadowing of the dog, the control that Cliff had over his dog.
Yeah.
You knew
It's a very good job.
this was going to come into play,
Yeah,
and
you did,
sure
yeah,
enough,
yeah.
oh, I thought so. It was like telling you that there's something with this dog. It's
Yeah.
special.
Honestly, I thought that was going to backfire on him.
Oh,
Because at the end of the movie, when we're introduced to the dog, what's the dog's name?
I don't even know. You know, was it with a D? It was
whatever.
Dana or something. Was female?
At the beginning of the movie, he's asking the dog to not whine,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Don't whine. If you
Yeah.
whine, I'm not feeding you." Right?
Right.
And the dog is very well behaved.
Oh,
So
wow.
at the end of the movie, I was thinking the dog is going to want to whine, but he's not going to. And again, we take him by surprise.
Oh,
and,
that's what you thought the foreshadowing was there.
Yes.
That's why they put that in there, and that's what was going
Well,
to happen later in the movie.
yeah.
But
Yeah,
by
I
the end of the
get you.
movie, Cliff is like whacked out on acid trip.
Yeah.
And you weren't even sure if he was gonna. How is this gonna play out?
I love that scene.
ending
That was
scene
hilarious.
was full of tension and hilarity, and
It had it all going on.
it was it was so like
It was
I-
insane.
I did not.
It was absolutely insane.
Yeah.
I went into this movie thinking we're gonna play this out where Sharon Tate is gonna die. And it's gonna follow history, and the
Yeah.
Manson family is gonna do their thing, and it was gonna be a miserable ending.
Yeah.
He flips the switch and he flips the table and he makes it turn into like this.
Yeah.
The three Manson family characters go to the wrong house,
Yeah.
and they stumble upon probably the one guy you don't want to mess with.
Yeah.
This guy was like beating on Bruce Lee.
Bruce Lee, I know.
Well,
And
no,
there's-
he was never beating up Bruce Lee.
Well,
What? He
That
was.
No, it was a daydream.
It was a daydream?
no, it was a
Yes.
flashback scene.
It was a daydream.
It was a flashback.
It was a daydream.
No, it was a flashback.
It was a
Cliff-
daydream.
Cliff.
It was a flashback.
Well,
He goes to the
okay,
roof.
Let's debate.
He goes to the roof to
He's-
install the thing,
He's fixing the
And he-
satellite antenna. Back
and
then.
he's playing out this story in his head,
Uh-huh.
where he begs Rick to get him a job at the
Yeah, because
what is that, the movie, right?
yeah,
Right.
he wants
And
to work on the
and
movie.
and how that would play out if he actually got that job.
I saw it different. I saw it as his one last chance to keep working with
Really?
Rick, and he's on the set and he's thinking back on
Yeah.
the roof to like I fucked that up.
Yeah, that's how
This
I
is
saw
how
it
it went
too.
down.
I'm totally with Phil on that one. But,
But you know, but it
you,
was
you could be right. You could be right. Steve.
Regardless,
You're right.
it was a very fun scene where
Yeah.
he's like hanging out. They're all like all the crew, like the stuntmen, and like not the main actors. Bruce
Yeah.
Lee is talking like arrogant and
Yeah.
talking like
Yeah.
He's talking
Smack.
yeah.
he's talking smack. And I heard that the family of Bruce Lee didn't like the portrayal of him because he came off as an asshole. Kind of,
He
right?
did, yeah.
And so Cliff's sitting there against the car. Really, you could knock out Muhammad Ali, right? He's talking about.
Well,
And then they get into a little scrap, and he says, we can't punch the faces. No contact. If you knock me on my ass, you win or whatever." And then
Yeah.
the fight breaks up because basically Cliff was like gonna kick his ass if he wanted to.
Yeah.
Because he threw him into this car, and it turns out it's the lady stunt, the stunt coordinator's car.
Yeah, yeah.
So I saw that differently, Steve. I thought it was like that was his one time to get back in the good graces. Of
Okay, so you guys think that this is the reason he couldn't get a job?
yeah,
Yeah.
And
because they're
He's
Okay.
thinking back. He's up there when he's working on the antenna. He's thinking back to why his.
I thought he was playing out a story in his head, about because they were already reluctant to hire him. They
And
were
that's
they were
probably-
reluctant.
They already were because we have history we don't know.
yeah.
Right. So
Right.
I thought
This
Okay,
is
so-
this is the final coffin why he's now completely out of work.
Well,
okay. Maybe.
because the inspiration apparently I've seen it in Tarantino. I'll talk about this. Inspiration is like when he was shooting his movies, he'd watch his set, his crew, and he'd see the stunt guy with talk. He'd see that there's actually this story that he wanted to keep investigate. And you thought, well, would it be cool to make a movie about the stunt guy
Right.
and the actor
Yeah.
because they're buddies and they
Yeah.
do movies together, so they build this bond. And he went with that kind of story, and he built that story, and then he threw in the Manson family around it,
Yeah.
which was interesting.
It was very interesting.
And what was interesting to me, the main guy, Charlie Manson, was barely in the movie.
Barely. He had just like a one scene where he comes up to the house
Yeah,
and
and they didn't utilize
and
it.
they didn't even say that was him.
No,
They
no.
didn't actually just. We just made the the little gap in
Yeah.
the teeth and the hair. It looked
Yeah.
like him, right? But we all assumed that's who it was, but never actually said that was Charlie. And Charlie. There was no point in the movie where they point out that's Charles Manson.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they kept it vague, but
Yeah.
the story really revolves around the hippies and the hate for hippies.
Yeah,
Which I thought, by the end of the movie, it's full on hate for
yes,
hippies.
there is. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't realize that it was that heated.
Yeah,
There was oh shoot, what was I gonna say? you know, there's a pet peeve I have, and I may have said this in other movie podcasts. I really don't like movies made about making movies. And this did not bother me at all.
Yeah, good.
Not in that way, anyway.
Because it was a different spin on that, I think, right? You're seeing it from a different perspective.
They're making different movies, and
they build, what was cool, they built the whole, like, backstory to Rick Dalton's character. They showed him, like, when he was a superstar in his TV days.
Bounty,
and then he showed his decline, right? He's playing, like, the bad guy, weekly bad guy on all these different shows from the 60s. And then
it's still happening. Yeah, I can see
it. And then they showed like a mad cover for a magazine. They built a whole backstory, and it was very cool. Yeah. He they show him doing like Japanese commercials and stuff. Yeah, and they show his struggle, and he's like he's on his way out.
There's so many good scenes in this movie, and like there's
that's
so
Tarantino,
many.
Right?
Yes,
Tarantino.
I mean this is so loaded with so much good stuff. It's so hard to like, but I have to say, if I had to pick a favorite, I love the scene where and I thought Leonardo DiCaprio did amazing in this movie. I thought his acting was stellar. Like I mean, he can.
So just on that note, Brad Pitt was like his character was just cool.
Yeah.
But whereas Leonardo's had to show the dirt and like
he had to jump like
Did you notice he had like a stutter, and it seemed like he had to get over the stutter. He had a lot. He was very critical of himself. That one scene where he's kicking the table.
Yeah.
So anyways,
John wanted to say something.
the scene.
Go on.
This scene. This is the scene. I love this scene where he's showing up to the set where he's got a dress like that, with the long mustache and the bad guy and that little girl there. All right, that whole scene between him and the little girl, where they're reading on that porch, right? I thought this was such a good scene because at that point, up to that point, we really didn't know much about Leonardo DiCaprio's character there, Rick Dalton, right? We didn't know what he was made of, right? But that was such a good scene because he pours his heart out to this little girl, and he starts crying, he starts getting all emotional, and you realize that this, like, I don't know, it just adds so much character. I thought it was so funny because she's smart, she's like talking about all the logistics of acting and stuff, and you can tell he's like, I don't really ever,
he's old school, right?
She knows more about acting than I do. This little girl. She's how was she, like 8 or something? Or,
she was 8.
Yeah. And he's like,
he says, "Are you 12?"
Yeah,
8,
right? And you can tell the whole insecurity is coming in there with him because he's like looking at her like she's 8 and she knows all this about acting, and I don't think I ever knew this stuff. You can see this whole shift in him going on, right? But the payoff isn't coming yet. He's sort of watching this stuff, but you could tell that set the stage for his insecurity. Now they're reading books, and he's telling, "What's your book about?" And then he starts talking about this guy who used to be able to break in Broncos or whatever, and now
he's simple.
He can't do it anymore because he's got leg problems. He breaks down. I thought that was genius. I thought that was just like it adds so much depth to Rick Dalton's character. Yeah. He went from like, I thought maybe this guy was just going to be that cheesy guy that has been or whatever, but it added so much depth to him. I thought that was such a character building scene. It was so funny, and it's just awesome.
There's a lot of good things.
Oh, so many good scenes.
I just didn't. Yeah, Steve. Thoughts? Like,
I couldn't agree more.
He felt like it was
boring, I'm glad you brought up the stutter and all that stuff. Yeah. I didn't think it was boring. I thought it was. It didn't seem to have a direction for so much of the movie, and it's a long movie, and I just thought, where are you going with this, Quentin? Where are you going with this? That's what I was thinking. And then the ending was just it crystallized everything.
Yeah. I just enjoy movies these days are bang boom superhero movies.
Right.
Cut big explosions. This movie's just chill.
It was
just
chill.
Driving around
and
hanging out.
I didn't need to know where it was going because I was so mesmerized by everything that was going on.
Yeah.
The characters, the scenes, I was just mesmerized by every part of it. I thought I couldn't believe it was over. I'm like, I knew it was a long movie. I'm like, I felt like an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, this is already over because I was just there was so much to think about, so much going on, so many good scenes, so many good characters. It was so good, you know. And it was like,
Did you notice every time they got into a car and they're all driving these cool cars? Like there's I don't know, it was like a Royal Royce, and there's tons of different cool. They're just peeling around. Then that where they lived, where Rick Dalton lived, he had like they just peeling out of this place. It's just everywhere they went was just pedal to the metal.
And those roads were so
it was like nobody wore seatbelts back then, probably.
Well, the craziest driving we saw was Cliff.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he drives Dalton home, and then he goes into his own car, and then he just rips her home.
Cliff had a Cadillac, right? Yeah, exactly. He drove. That was his day. Kind of his job.
A Cadillac?
I don't know.
He had a blue convertible.
Yeah, I didn't think
that
it
was his
Cadillac.
car, but then he would get in a Cadillac and he'd drive Rick around.
That was Rick Dalton's car.
Because at the beginning of the movie, the true story is Rick got to drive it, lost his license.
Or something. He wrapped it around a tree.
Yeah. So lo and behold, next door to Rick is Sharon Tate and the up and coming director Roman Polanski.
Yeah.
And he feels like Rick thinks, oh, if I got to know them, maybe I could get in this hot director's movie or something. Yeah. And lo and behold, at the end of the movie, at the very end, he gets invited into their circle. Yeah. And so who knows what comes of that. But
because apparently they knew about him. They knew about his flamethrower.
Sharon Tate was a big fan, apparently.
Yeah.
And they were shy to introduce themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So Sharon Tate, Margot Robbie. Sorry. She was a small character in the movie. Like had this.
We're supposed to fall in love with her. And she's freaking adorable through the whole movie. Yeah. And we're expecting her to die horribly.
That's what I had that impending doom through. I didn't want to spoil this movie. Yeah. And I managed to not be spoiled by anybody, which today is very hard to get through, right? Like everybody's trying to spoil a movie. Yeah. So I managed to watch the movie really, just clear about what, unspoiled. And I expected things to go south, right? I think.
Yes.
And it didn't, but I had the impending doom because throughout the whole movie, and she has that day where she goes see her movie and she's enjoying herself.
Yeah.
Think, she's gonna.
It's
die,
sad. I know. There's a sad. You're right.
But it doesn't happen, which is cool.
It is cool. Yeah. Lori had an interesting. She was. I don't know. I don't want to say because I think she had conflicting feelings about this, but she was a little disappointed in the ending, and I don't know. I can't speak for her, but it was like I can imagine that you build as a viewer, you build yourself up expecting this, and you're preparing yourself for it because it's a sad story. I don't know how well you guys know the Manson murders. It was grisly, and the baby was cut right out of her, right? Like it was.
Yeah, my wife Ashley said she didn't really enjoy the movie. She kind of exited.
Oh, okay.
She just was bored by it. Like
whatever.
So, anyways, she made the point. She's not pregnant, and what they do at a certain point in the movie, they flash forward
6 months.
6 months, yeah.
So then she is pregnant, and that's when you think, oh, well, now it's coming, right?
Yeah.
So it was awful. It was awful stuff.
The biggest surprise for me was the flamethrower.
That's
because this at one point one of the attackers runs screaming from the house through a plate glass door, and then into the pool, and she's firing her gun in the air, and she's screaming like.
Yeah, she lost her fucking mind there.
She lost her mind, and
she got attacked by the dog, right?
Yeah.
You know what? To me, that was just big, spectacular, fun time. It was just over the top, and Tarantino has done that before. So that was just, come on.
So Rick doesn't want to get shot, I guess. So he pulls out a flamethrower
to
finish her off.
Well, the whole time he's floating around in his pool, right? He's floating around. All of a sudden, he's floating around. All of a sudden, this woman just jumps.
Oh yeah, he's
pool.
the last one
he's
to know.
Holy crap! And then he thinks, "Oh, I got a flamethrower," and as if that thing would fire up just on command. It just does.
Well, it has spent 6 months in the shed.
Yeah, but it was it was if you think
knows?
about it, it was a beautiful scene from a cinematography point of view. She's in the pool, half her body's exposed, and it's on fire. So she's on the water, on fire, in the night, and it was just this crazy scene. It's awesome.
Nuts.
It
Nuts.
was over the top nuts.
Oh yeah, I mean, the thing. There's certain scenes that I had to bring that one up.
Oh
right?
my gosh,
that was like only Quentin Tarantino would go that extra, like
brutal.
Yeah, exactly. It's like he didn't just
didn't it feel justified?
Bang in that head and just watch that head bash apart. You know,
it's like let's back up the story a bit to when Cliff goes to the Hollywood ranch, the set where he worked on.
Yeah,
and he did that show right.
He's looking for the old man that he knew
because he's very suspicious that either the guy's dead and they're just squatting there, right? They're living, and then as we know, it was a very tense. Like I don't know how it felt like 20 minutes of the movie was just tense because what's gonna happen? And they keep showing all these hippies, and it's mostly women, right?
Yeah,
and this the kind of like
and Tex
and one guy, a couple of guys.
Yeah.
It was a weird thing, and if you think about it, I thought about this after. The women are kind of like the bad guys in the movie, the hippies. They're all like there's a lot of them, and they're hell bent on taking them out because they don't trust who's this guy in the Hawaiian shirt and tropical shirt, and we don't know him and.
Well, they were not all nasty. They were all suspicious.
They were highly suspicious, but that was so tense to me. That whole played out, and then we find out he's just blind old guy sleeping in the bed.
Yeah.
At one point, he's touching him. He's like a corpse. He's just rotted away.
Well, it was funny. I mean, that whole thing was funny because you're right. They build this big thing up, and really, it's like in any other movie. You're expecting, what's going to coming because it followed the kind of the Hollywood canon of this kind of scenario. We know what's happening. This guy is being held.
We didn't know.
Against his will, right?
Yeah,
that's what typical Hollywood movie would say, right? But what's funny about it is that he finally gets this guy, sees his old, and everything is true. Like. She didn't even lie about anything. The whole thing was true, right?
Yeah, but she was like,
I was actually expecting him to say, because she said something like, "Yeah, I fucked him really for whatever this morning, right?"
Yeah,
and
that was what I fucked him.
And I thought, oh man, once I saw what was going on there, I thought he's going to say that yet too. We'll just wait and see. He's going to go. He says, "Oh, leave me alone. I'm tired. I fucked her all morning, you know."
Yeah.
And I thought that was going to come next.
I got a rest for watching Gunsmoke or something later tonight.
Yeah.
And they don't play it, but she was like nasty. She was just being a bitch to him.
Yeah.
And I gotta say this before I forget. I wrote it down. The fascination with the feet. You ever hear this? There's feet
Lori
everywhere.
brought this up a lot.
Dirty, nasty, hippie feet.
Yeah.
On dashboards.
Yeah.
Feet here, feet there, everywhere. Feet.
Yellow feet, dirty feet.
What's up with that, Tarantino?
That's a lot. Well, he's what? What feet?
He's styling, man.
In Kill Bill. I don't know. I could go on and on.
Yeah, maybe he's got a foot fetish, I guess. Maybe he likes dirty feet. Some men like dirty feet,
So the connection is when Cliff.
Not that I don't know.
Let's get off the feet.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So when Cliff he goes to the studio, the ranch, and he sees all the hippies. He gets out of there. Hilarious scene where he punches out that one hippie who stabs his tire. That was so hilarious.
Fix it.
Yeah.
And then Tex can't get him because he peels off before Tex can get a piece of him. Tex is like supposed to be the man, the macho alpha male of the ranch.
Right.
So when Cliff is tripping balls on acid, he goes, "I know you guys."
Yeah, he's all laughing,
and he's like, "You're like something, Tim or He's like
Rex. Yeah.
In that scene where they're having like that standoff, and he just goes. What does he do for the dog signal? Goes,
and
it was on. He goes right to the guy's crotch, and it's like, or his hand. He gets disarms him.
Yeah,
it was from there. It was like chaotic.
Yeah, I have to give him there's every director tries to get that scene where they make the hero look like he's like the most invincible, like
Yeah.
Bruce Willis in Die Hard and all these heroes, right? I think he does it the best. I thought Cliff.
He was doomed.
Like, I would put Cliff against anybody, Superman or whatever. Somehow he managed to convince me that Cliff is the toughest motherfucker on the entire planet. He did it so well. Like, it just, yeah.
That was like a tense scene, and I don't know. Those are those moments where it's all cool and we're just cruising along, and then it becomes, this is real. All of a sudden I'm like, oh my gosh, You got some notes there, Steve?
Well, I'm just. So, do you think Cliff killed his wife?
Yeah.
Yes. And can you blame him? I mean,
I've always said, if you want to commit murder, take a boat out where nobody can see you, and you just say it was an accident.
It was an accident. Like,
so.
That was such a great scene.
That's the whole thing with Dexter. He kept dropping body parts over the boat. Nobody knows what the hell you're doing out there in the middle of nowhere on the water.
Yeah.
So he's sitting there, and his wife is just like taking him to town, tearing him a new one, and he's sitting there casually with a spear gun pointed at her in his lap.
Yeah, it's very.
And then the camera cuts away, and we don't actually see the murder.
And from that point on, he's got this reputation as he killed his wife. He got away with it.
Yeah.
But that's the beauty. Because it's just a quick scene, and it never gets resolved. We never.
But what I love about that scene is that pretty much, if any guy was pushed as far as his wife was pushing him, that has a spear gun in his hand. Couldn't help it. I mean, she's like, I would rather, I was stuck on a boat with you, and it's like, she's just berating him to nothing, and he's got a spear gun. Of course he's going to shoot her. Who wouldn't shoot her, It's just a trigger, make her shut up, right?
They never revisit it. It never gets resolved.
Yeah.
So it's up to our imagination.
I think
we agree.
Of course
he probably killed her and got away with it.
Of course he did.
But then because he says later on in the movie, I have my brushes with the law and stuff.
Yeah.
And that one time when that underage hippie is trying to like seduce him, he's like, how old are you? I'm not going to jail over you. It's like, it's not going to happen. And he says another line. He says, "I broke a police officer's jaw."
Well, I think
I did time.
Cliff has this approach
chain gang
to life where he doesn't care whether he dies.
He lived day to day.
He doesn't really care whether he gets beat up. He doesn't care whether he gets thrown off a roof or whatever.
Yeah.
He just
goes with the flow.
Goes with the flow, and he whatever. That's kind of his approach to life, and that's probably why he wins so many fights.
Yeah,
absolutely. I think everybody wants a friend like Cliff.
Yeah, I loved their friendship. Was touching.
Yeah,
and at the end, they knew they had to they're gonna go their separate ways because
Dalton's running out of money and
and he's downsizing from his little pad there on the Hollywood Hills or whatever, and he's telling Cliff, we're gonna have to do this. So they decide they're gonna have one loud bash and one last night. That was so cool. And at the end of it, Cliff is in the ambulance, and they kind of say their goodbyes, and that might have been it.
I don't think so.
Don't know.
The way I see this is that
he meets up with the neighbor,
right,
and so big things come.
Exactly, big things are coming because he said he's the hottest director in town. If I could just get in, and at the end he is. So I feel like that's the segue to say that Cliff and Rick Dalton are going to go on to do more stuff,
Yeah.
And did they show, there was something at the very end, was it the credits were rolling?
He's selling cigarettes.
Oh, did you guys watch that? Did you watch the credit? About halfway through the credits, you caught that?
I saw a cigarette commercial.
Yeah, it was basically he's selling red apple cigarettes, which is a common theme in all the Tarantino movies. They always smoke red apple cigarettes.
Right.
And he's pitching red apple cigarettes.
That's right.
And then when the camera stopped rolling, this is shit. What the?
Well, he didn't like the picture.
Yeah. That's right,
yeah. Anyways, he didn't like the picture. What is this picture of me? Goddamn picture. You felt the frustration for Rick's character, right?
Yeah.
like he was on the downward curve,
Yeah.
and he's like, you felt for him.
Oh, you
I don't
did,
know why
you did.
Well,
I mean, like I said, I thought Leonardo DiCaprio. I would say this was his best role, and the reason I would say that,
I don't know. Yeah,
the reason I say that is because he had to play an actor acting, and he had to do so many levels of acting, different characters.
that's good.
It wasn't just a one character. He had to morph into acting within acting.
Great
right?
point. It's like being, it's like being multiple things.
Yeah, and I thought oh man, even when that guy said, he goes, that guy that wanted him, the director that wanted him in that movie, he goes, that was the best. That was
the female, the kid says that was the best acting I've ever seen.
She said that, but even the director said, and it was good acting. I mean, it was, and yet you're thinking he's breaking role. Like this isn't Leonardo DiCaprio didn't come in and have to just Brad Pitt was Cliff the entire movie.
Yeah,
Leonardo DiCaprio had to jump into different planes and stuff. And every time he did that, every time he shifted spots, nailed it.
Yeah,
there was no moment where you thought he nailed it. And I thought it was a diverse role, and fuck, he did amazing.
Yeah,
I mean,
Brad Pitt's character was a cool guy, kind of like not extreme acting required. Whereas Leonardo had to show a range of
it was really interesting. Watching Leo play Rick play somebody else.
Yeah,
you know, and
that
was really interesting.
That was such a cool thing with Timothy Olyphant, was a great actor on his own right. They're sitting at the table in the saloon, and they're acting on a scene. It goes for a while, right? They're acting, and then they break the scene, the fourth wall. They say, right? It's like, what line? What's my line?
Yeah.
And it's like you're sucked in. You kept wanting to watch this movie.
Yeah.
And then it just breaks, and it's like, line.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a cool thing.
Can you imagine if he was really going, he's now acting that? What if he's going, in real life, he's
what
going...
if he needs a line?
He needs a line, right? Because he needs a line within the lines, right? And so he's doing that.
He breaks character. Breaks, the scene breaks because you're trying to act. And you're screwing up. And then I love that when he's back in his trailer and he's pissed off at himself. You're going to stop drinking. Yeah. You're going to cut back. No. Have 4 drinks a day.
Yeah.
Why do you have to
stop? What the hell?
So hard on himself. And
I know. I loved how they built Rick Dalton's character. I just loved how, he went from... I didn't... From the onset of the movie, I mean, I knew Quentin Tarantino was capable of a lot of things, but I kind of thought, he already casted just an interesting character just from the historical perspective. He's in Hollywood and stuff. But I had no idea the depths he's going to take that character to, right? With the emotional stuff, the breakdowns, it was just, I thought, holy crap. He wrote a really good character in Rick Dalton, and he was acted phenomenally. I thought, wow, that's this is something to study, that kind of thing. It was really, really well done,
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Only one more thing, because we're running pretty late on this one. There's a moment where Rick goes out to berate the hippies for being in his
he's in his bathrobe with a margarita.
Yeah. He's got his margarita blender, and he's like, "Get the hell out of here! This is a gated community.
Goddamn hippies!
Goddamn hippies!" And you think almost if you didn't know, he was being an asshole.
He was being an asshole.
Huge asshole.
Yeah.
Well, look what he just. Well, no, that was pre what he was gonna get into with them.
Yeah. Totally. You think, oh, he's flying off the handle. This is you're going too far. You're going too far, Rick. But I mean, it all makes sense in from our perspective. But I don't know.
It was an interesting scene, and it did catch me a little. I thought it seemed to break character a little bit, right?
Yeah.
A little bit.
But he's drinking. He's hanging out with his best bud, and I don't know. It set it up for because they're in this car. It's very suspicious.
Yeah,
and
it's just a bunch of imperfect people being.
Yeah.
Oh man. It was good. Imperfect
It was good. I still enjoyed the scene. I loved the scene, but it was it just seemed like, wow, I didn't think he was quite like that. Yeah, but
one last note, I want to shout out to the actor Luke Perry. He played one of the guys. That was apparently his last
role. Yeah, he died shortly after this.
Yeah, he had a heart attack, and it was interesting because I think Tarantino loves to pick oddball actors from all things past and present and things, and he puts them in his movies, and they all come off cool. Like he does a great job of casting always.
I love Tarantino with money. I feel like this guy is a guy. You go back, Reservoir Dogs.
Simple movie.
Simple movie budget. And stuff. Yeah, lower budget, but once he had the money in his pocket, holy crap! Yeah, he's done good, and I think this is a guy that he's going to put that money back into his movies.
And what actor wouldn't want to be in his movie? And what movie studio producing his movies wouldn't let him do what the hell he wants? Because it's awesome. Mostly everything he does is like gonna be amazing. So
yeah. I remember once upon a time I thought David Lynch was where it was at, and when then Quentin Tarantino came along, and I did. It took me a while to shift from my favorite director from Lynch to Tarantino, but the guy he's my favorite director. I mean,
really?
Oh yeah.
Well, that's a bold statement.
It is, but absolutely true. Yeah.
Well, as long as he keeps making movies, I'll keep watching them.
Yep.
So keep making movies.
Yes, sir.
What else did I say?
Let's get into this trivia. Brad Pitt ad-libbed the line, "You're fucking Rick Dalton." Don't you forget that. Pitt based that line on an actor who told him the same thing when he was a budding actor in the early 90s.
You're fucking Brad Pitt.
Brad fucking Pitt, yeah.
Don't forget.
That'd be awesome.
In the 90s.
I wish someone would come up to me and say that to me. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess I am.
Yeah.
Oh.
You're Phil.
Yeah.
I'm Phil Chalosky.
Phil fucking Chalosky. Yeah.
All right, I'll jump to this wall.
Next.
Wow, man, this is some big trivia.
Wow.
As the Tate party enters the El Coyote restaurant for dinner, Sharon Tate and Jay Sebring discuss a movie premiere they can see taking place further down Beverly Boulevard at an erotic movie theater. They have premieres for dirty movies. Ask Sharon. The theater in question is the Eros, a real adult theater of the time. The building still exists, though it's now reportedly a cinema called the New Beverly, and is owned by Quentin Tarantino.
Really?
Wow. Seems like he likes to nostalgia. He likes to have the things the way they were.
Yeah.
Or buy it up.
He definitely has nostalgia. Yes,
he's got the movie bug.
He's a movie connoisseur. He apparently
cinephile.
Cinephile, if there ever was one. So
absolutely.
He has respect, right? He wants to honor.
He pays homage to.
That's the word.
The history of cinema for sure. Very rare for a Quentin Tarantino film. Some scenes contain improvisation, particularly when Rick Dalton forgets his lines in Lancer and rants to himself privately in his trailer afterwards. Leonardo DiCaprio had a very difficult time playing Dalton's roles as Dalton would, rather than how he himself would, especially since Dalton is supposed to be an actor of hidden range. So he suggested Dalton forgetting his lines mid-scene to ironically help him stay in character as Dalton. The following scene in the trailer was also unscripted. So that speaks a lot again to Leonardo DiCaprio.
It does.
What amazing! It shows the challenges of the role he played. This must have been one of his most challenging roles ever been on.
These actors, Brad Pitt, Leonardo DiCaprio, they only do a few movies. Like it's once a year, once every couple of years. Seriously, they only pick movies they want to do, and it's like,
and if their name's on it, it's probably going to be good.
Well, yeah. I mean, he won an Oscar for Revenant, right? DiCaprio, and I don't know, did Pitt ever win an Oscar yet? Anyways, they just do what they want. And if they choose to do a movie, it's interesting. And man, I wish they'd keep more. We want more.
Originally skeptical of the project, Sharon Tate's sister, Deborah Tate, gave the film and Margot's portrayal of Sharon her blessing after Deborah was embraced by Tarantino himself and became aware of how her sister would be represented in the film. Deborah referred to Margot as a dedicated craftsman, and praised the actress's research into Sharon prior to meeting with her.
Wow.
Good.
It's nice. It's nice.
That is good. I mean, I think, the thing I'd bring up about that is that this must be, I don't know, Laura and I talked about that, is that what about the Tate family and how they feel about this take on it? Because it's kind of like, is it a slap in the face that you're not acknowledging
real history?
Yeah, what really happened and the horror our family has been living with all these years? You're just kind of like skipping over that and making it like that didn't even happen?
Yeah.
Or is it the family would look at it like, this
Great.
is nice to look at and imagine if things if things had happened like that. But
she seemed like I hear what you're saying. Like, this is revenge. This is if we could alter history, we'd stop this before it happens.
Yeah.
I mean, just having Quentin Tarantino's name on the movie would tell you something about it.
It's not going to be.
It's not
It's not going to be what you thought.
After he killed Hitler, all bets are off. Sharon Tate, like, she seemed like she was on the verge of being a superstar, right? Things were looking so good, and then it just went where it went.
Yeah.
Sad.
Shit.
And this is kind of like, well, screw you. It's like saying, well, screw you. This is how it should have ended. Such a nice life should have kept going.
It should have
kept
on,
But
once upon a time, it's a fairy tale.
It is a fairy tale, and I think that's true. He altered it to give us or everybody screw history.
Yeah.
Here's a different take on what I see, and we went on that ride, and it was enjoyable.
It was.
It was fun. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Yes.
Next week, Monday at noon, we're covering Best of Enemies. I picked this one. It's going to be with Christian and Greg. All things go according to plan, of course. Best of Enemies is a true story, supposedly, about an old town in the 70s or 50s, a long time ago, when there was major segregation between the whites and the blacks. And the blacks have their school burned down, and then they're like, of course,
I wish I was on this podcast.
Anyway,
sounds like something I have something to say about.
I can't wait to talk about it, and I can't wait to see you there.
You're gonna see it? How do you do that?
I have powers. Have a great day.
Bye bye.